Hello, everyone. This is my In the News presentation. My name is Patrick Codo, and I am doing mine on NFL injuries and how they have a big impact on today's game. Why did I choose this one? Well, I'm more going into like sports broadcasting and stuff, and as a broadcaster, I feel like personally it is good to know what injuries are out there and explain what the injury is because as you're broadcasting the game, you see the injuries happening. And you kind of want to know what is it, get the updates, how long the players are out for, and how big of an impact it will be on the team, and see who can step up. And the article I found was the top five. The article I found was the top five most common injuries. It was presented by the West Coast Podiatry Center. It just talks about what common injuries are out there in the pro football. So let's get on to this. What kind of injuries, first of all, are there in football? Obviously, there's concussion, so a head injury. There's your ACL tear, so like in your knee and stuff. Concussions. In 2014, the league witnessed 182 concussions. In 2015, that was a rise of 58% from 2014, because back then football's like very violent and stuff. And it still continues to be violent and stuff, but you see more penalties and stuff on illegal hits. I mean, you just saw them increasing more of that roughing the passer call and stuff. I personally don't like those new roughing the passer calls, but it is what it is now. A lot of things have changed in sports, and for an injury, it could be light, it could be serious. The player of how long you're out for could be a week, a month, a year, or an entire season, depending on what it is. So obviously the most common injuries, the five most common injuries presented by the West Coast Podiatry Center, the West Coast Podiatry Center website, it was called the top five most common injuries, are knee injuries, ankle injuries, leg injuries, shoulder injuries. Obviously, there's Tony Romo there hurt. There's Richard Sherman down for the count. These injuries can make a big impact, especially on your team's best player. And, as a broadcaster, you're always looking at that good player. But no, if that player gets hurt, a lot of things change. And in Chapter 13, I looked at, it talked about many different kind of injuries. You definitely got some like fractures, injuries in your leg, dislocators. So you can obviously dislocate your knee, you can dislocate your arm, your shoulder, foot, anything. You dislocate anything in your body, that's a big problem. And that was one of the big things that was talked about in Chapter 13, was dislocations. We didn't go over it, but I thought it would be a good thing to talk about. And some solutions for some injuries, especially for the lower foot. Like I said, the West Coast Podiatry had some solutions. Dr. Stephen D. Ladze, or Lasday, is the one that's able to help out with an ankle or a heel problems. And obviously, players are the ones walking and want to have good ankles and stuff. But if it gets hurt or twisted, then you're in some trouble. And you can tell how bad the person's walking. Like soccer, football. But football, anywhere could hit. The person can grab your leg, you slip on a football, and it just won't good. And here are some key injuries from last year. I feel like that these are like the most important players, like Jimmy Garoppolo. He originally came from the Patriots, played very good at San Francisco in 2017, and then the injury happened in Week 3 of 2018. As you can see, I apologize for that disgusting image, but anytime you have an injury on your key player, it just doesn't look good. And some of these players have witnessed injuries before, like Carson Wentz. He suffered a back injury this year. Well, the previous year he tore his ACL. after he was going to be a potential MVP. And then Alex Smith suffered an injury compared to Joe Theismann, a fracture, a compound fracture, so he could miss all of 2019. So if I were Alex Smith, I'd retire. And here are the solutions and stuff of why I believe that these were a big deal. And some solutions, well, for obviously for the quarterback, they wear the concussion protocol helmets, also known as smart helmets. Well, it's one way for the quarterback to avoid the concussion. But I honestly feel like every team's best player should have that. You know, maybe exercise more. You know, don't do your normal warm ups, but like exercise more, and make sure that avoid the injury. And another thing too, maybe have players use a heavier workload to make them vulnerable to the injury. Like, just do some figure something during your workouts to like help you avoid an injury, or if you're hurt but you can still practice, you know, use it to help you out. So that was my presentation today. I hope you all enjoyed my in the news presentation about an impact on NFL injuries. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good day. Go Dogs.